Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Joe. It's what a night. What a night for baseball. What a great night for the sport. What a great night for the Dodgers. What a great night for Freddie Freeman. What a great night for everybody, really, except for Yankee fans across the world. It's just a tough night. It was a tough night. And my takeaway here, Joe, I don't know if you agree with this, because I know you picked both teams to win the World Series, right?
I picked the Dodgers in 7. Mookie Betts MVP.
Okay, so you did change it before the series started, so I think I'll allow it. I know Jay was kind of against it, right?
I mean, it's a funny bit now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he can't lose now because the graphic says that he picked the Yankees, but then he switched it to the Dodgers. So I could definitely lose if the Yankees win. I would lose because my pick is that the Dodgers will win in 7 games and Mookie Betts will be the MVP. Okay, but hear this takeout, Joe. Ready? The Yankees fired their best shot tonight, and they still lost. Gerrit Cole was great. Their bullpen was great. You got the home run from Stanton. That's 5 straight games with a home run, Jay. 5 straight games with a home run in the postseason. And they were running wild on the base paths, putting pressure on the Dodgers late, and they still lost.
That's tough for the Yankees. I mean, the biggest thing is Gerrit Cole going. How long did he go? 7? He got into the 7th.
Yeah, he went 6 and pitched into the 7th with 88
with
pitches.
1 run.
Yeah,
gave up 1 run. The fact that you lose that game is tough because the only way the Yankees win this, I said it in the preview pod when I picked the Yankees and then I switched to the Dodgers. But I said this, it was true then, it's true now. The only way the Yankees win is if they get length out of their starters. And what did they get tonight?
They got some length.
A lot of length.
When
was the last time you saw a playoff game this whole postseason? Name a starter who pitched in the 7th inning.
Jack Flaherty.
Tonight?
No. What was it? 2 starts ago? 3 starts ago.
Probably Jack Flaherty and Tarek Skubal.
Yeah.
I would say are the only 2.
Yeah.
And you got that tonight in the Yankees and you still lost.
That's what I'm saying. They fired their best bullet and they lost.
I know, it sucks ass.
They used Gerrit Cole game 1.
Why do you think I picked
They got a
against
great
them?
start out of Cole and it did not result in a win. And listen, I'm not going to be too hard on the Yankees here because they're on the road. It's not easy to win on the road. If they win game 2, okay, they're in a great spot going back to the Bronx. That's what you want to do. They want to split. I think game 2 is probably the biggest game of the series right now.
Bigger than game 1?
Yeah.
Well, now it is if you're the Yankees.
Yeah, I think I don't want to say they're fucked if they go back to New York 2-0 like this. Like I know for as high as Dodger fans are riding right now, whatever in me still believes this is going to be a series. Like I'm sitting here saying, okay, the Yankees, everything went right until it went wrong at the very end. Like that's how you draw it up. Gerrit Cole goes out there, pitches a gem, and then you hand it over to the bullpen. The bullpen shuts down the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers were averaging like 6.5 runs a game this postseason, and they were held to 2 run. Was it 2? Was it 2-1? Right? Yeah. They were held to 1 run for most of this game. And I mean, obviously we're going to look back and be like, all right, they put up a 6 spot. So like that feels right. But it took a walk-off grand slam to get to that 6 number.
Yeah.
With what, 2 outs in the 9th or 10th? 2 outs?
Yes.
2 outs.
2 outs in the 10th. And when I was watching that, in my opinion, I'm not a manager, but walking Mookie Betts in that situation was the dumbest fucking thing you could ever do.
Well, we're going to ask you why in just a second. But first, we're going to tell the good folks at home about the Underdog fantasy app. October is where legends are made, like Freddie Freeman, for example. Begin your road to greatness on Underdog, where you can make picks on all your favorite player stats. All you have to do is choose higher or lower on things like strikeouts, total bases, and home runs. You could win up to 1,000 times your money playing their pick'em game. Sign up for Underdog using promo code Jared, that's Jared, and you'll get a free pick as part of your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Again, that is promo code Jared, Jared. Cash in on every home run during the playoffs with Underdog. Joseph, tell us why. Walk us through that Mookie Betts decision.
Well, it was a dumbass decision because, like, I get it. It's Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts It's one of the best hitters in the world. And I get it. Freddie Freeman has an ankle, but when you walk Mookie Betts and load the bases, Freddie Freeman in that situation, he just gets a little fucking loop single and they fucking lose. Well, I know in hindsight, he had a great, no, if he hits a single, the guy in second scores and they win.
Yeah. They tied in the 8th. Yeah.
What do you mean? In the 8th? I'm talking about the 10th inning.
I know. I understand that. Yeah.
So when you walk Mookie Betts, you got a runner on second now. Freddie Freeman just hits a single. I know he's injured. You'd rather face Freddie than Mookie, but Mookie had to hit a fucking home run to win the game. Now Freddie just has to hit a single, and he hits a grand slam.
Well, they had gone to Nestor by that point, too. Did you want lefty-righty matchup? You didn't want Mookie hitting against a slop-throwing lefty?
That's a good point. That is a good point with Nestor.
Mm-hmm.
He is a lot worse against righties. And you know what?
And Mookie's great against lefties.
You know, that's low-key why I switched my pick to the Dodgers.
Why is that?
Because I had some extra time to look into it. I was looking at matchups and the Yankees bullpen. And they have a few guys who match up good against lefties, who pitch good against lefties, so you can get Shohei out with them. But all the guys who are good against lefties in the Yankees bullpen are dog shit against righties. So if you put in a lefty to face Shohei, then you got to face fucking Mookie Betts next.
Well, let's talk about that Nestor decision, because I feel like no Yankee fans are probably listening today. They're probably furious and they don't want any baseball content right now. But we can still talk about it. Jay, hey, would you have gone Tim Hill there? Because I feel like for however horrendous the numbers were before he got to New York, they were great with the Yankees during the regular season. He's been very solid for them this postseason. Why Nestor and not Tim Hill there?
I mean, if you take Boone at his word, and you and I both listened to the post game, it seemed that the reason that he chose Nestor instead of Tim Hill was Ohtani based and not necessarily what came after that, right?
Yeah.
So that either of them are bad matchups against Mookie Betts was, I think, understood by Aaron Boone too in the decision to intentionally walk him. So I think the criticism comes down to, do you think he is so much better equipped to pitch to, like, they're both lefties. So it's just a 1-versus-1 question. It's Tim Hill versus Nestor Cortez. I think, as loath as I am to criticize managerial decisions when they have more information at their disposal than we do in those moments, I think pitching a guy who has not pitched in a month in a situation that is incredibly high leverage, even if, I mean, I know he technically doesn't have to throw strikes to Freddie Freeman because you would tie the game instead of lose it if you walk him. But we all know that he really does.
It was 2-2 by then.
No, it's 3-2.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But like he basically does. And I think that's a really difficult ask of Nestor Cortez. It's pretty clear that Freddie Freeman got exactly the pitch that he was looking for in that moment. And Jay Kuda, I have to give him credit because it's obviously so specific that nobody else would have looked it up necessarily so quickly. But Aaron Boone intentionally walked Betts to load the bases for Freddie Freeman. Here are Freddie Freeman's stats with the bases loaded versus lefty pitchers the last 2 years. It's 643, 9 for 14 with 4 homers and 25 runs batted in.
Jesus Christ.
His OPS is 2.238 in that very specific situation. So whatever. Is that a stat that Boone had access to? I don't know.
I would
Is it a
imagine
stat
that
you should even pay attention to?
Maybe.
I don't know.
It sounds like yes.
But it does seem like yes now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you couldn't have switched him for a righty. Is that?
No. To me, it's just the question of Tim Hill, the lefty, or Nestor Cortez, the lefty. All I'm saying is that Nestor Cortez hasn't pitched in a month, and it's a difficult spot to put him in, even if, like, I know Freeman wasn't his first batter, but the first batter is Ohtani. So I don't know. I think it's fair game for a little bit of criticism. I do.
I would say yes. Yeah, I would say Boone's going to get some criticism. And we had been praising him in podcasts leading up to the World Series because we weren't talking about him. So if you're not talking about him, that means he's not standing out. And if he's not standing out, then he's not doing a bad job. Tonight, I think Yankee fans are well within their right to be like, why the fuck did we go to Nestor there in that spot? He threw 2 pitches, ball game over, grand slam, Freddie Freeman. It's just, I mean, on one hand, yeah, okay, you can say that out loud and say, well, why not Tim Hill? And you give up a grand slam to Freddie Freeman. But at the end of the day, think about the waters that the Yankees had to navigate there. You had to get through at the time of Shohei, Mookie, and Freddie with a 1-run lead. Like, it's like most pitchers are going to have a tough time with that, admittedly.
But yeah, and at the time when you guys were watching it live, were you guys bringing up the fact at the time when this happened, were you saying, why are you bringing Nestor? You should bring in Tim Hill?
No, I think we were just like licking our chops. Like, it wasn't like, why are you doing this? But as Red Sox fans, we were like, oh, thank God they're bringing in Nestor. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think my reaction... listen, man, I'm not really viewing the moment that way in the moment, unfortunately, but like my reaction when Nestor Cortez came into the game, at least internally, was, oh, wow, Nestor Cortez is coming into the game. And I didn't know that it was exactly a month. I do know that it had been a long time since we'd seen Nestor Cortez pitch. So like, did I pull up and be like, oh, Tim Hill should probably be in this spot? No, but digesting it after the fact, I think that's a totally fair question to bring up. And I'm sure plenty of Yankee fans or people who were more than gawking at the fact that Cortez was coming to the game were questioning it in the moment.
Yeah, I think for me, what was it today that they announced that Nestor made the World Series roster? I believe it was today.
Yeah, I think both sides made both announcements today.
Okay,
yeah.
So I saw the tweet come across, Nestor Cortez has been added to the World Series roster. And my thought seeing that was, I wonder where, if at all, we'll see Nestor in this series. Like this seems like they showed the highlights of the 2018 World Series when the game went 18 innings and they had to deploy their entire bullpen. I was like, yeah, maybe if there's like a 12 inning game there and they need to get some length out of their pen, if this, he can pitch in the 11th and the 12th inning if they need to bridge the gap and they don't want to dip into their starters or whatever. Like, that was where my mind went. Like, oh, Nestor made the World Series roster. I did not think, like, okay, I'm gonna roll out a hypothetical for you. Game 1 of the World Series, the Yankees have a 3-2 lead, right?
Yes.
And you've got to get through Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman.
Yes.
We're going to intentionally walk Mookie to load the bases. Who do you have on the mound in that spot? You could tell me which pitchers have already been deployed, and I don't think I would have named Nestor Cortez. Yeah,
I see what you're saying, but like you could say that exact same thing about Tim Hill, who had a fucking 5 ERA got cut from the worst team in baseball.
Yeah, but like he's been like really good with the Yankees and in the playoffs. I wouldn't. If Tim Hill was the guy that was on the mound in that spot, I think my thought process in real time would have been, I wonder if he can keep it going. I remember, like, I was literally driving home I was just always thinking about baseball. I was driving home today after getting my iced coffee and thinking about Tim Hill. And I was like, I was thinking to myself, like, I wonder if he can keep this going. So that would have also been my thought if he were on the mound in the spot that Nestor Cortez found himself in, is, all right, yeah, like he's gotten some big outs. Can he keep this going? Because it's not like when he was acquired by the Yankees, were Yankee fans like, finally, that fucking back end lefty to get those big outs in the playoffs? No, that was not the thought. But he has earned a spot in Aaron Boone's trust tree. And I feel like if I'm Tim Hill tonight, I'm going back to the hotel being like a little confused why my name wasn't called.
In the spot, in that spot, I would have probably put in Nestor, to be honest.
I don't know why. That's a tough decision. Why?
It's what you just said this morning, getting your fucking Dunkin' Donuts.
Starbucks.
That you got this morning. Yeah, I know. It burned down. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
But like,
burned down.
What'd you say? Can he keep it going? I'm just saying,
I know Nestor's not keeping it going. He hasn't pitched in a month. Like, I would rather go to Tim Hill there and lose than put Nestor out there who hasn't pitched in a month and lose. Like, you're not going to get second guessed going to Tim Hill there. You are absolutely getting second guessed going to Nestor there.
I also feel like I don't have the data to back this up, and maybe I can get it by the time tomorrow comes around, but the going to the starter out of the bullpen move in a high leverage spot in the World Series, not just Nestor, but like, I just feel like in the postseason that has generally proven to be
worked out great for the Red Sox.
Just too cute in general, I think.
Worked out great for the Red Sox in 18. Did it with every starter, worked out pretty much every time.
I think most of the time it has not worked out.
Not everyone's Alex Cora.
That's true.
No, I was saying we didn't see Honeywell tonight, which was like,
that's crazy. Surprising. That's probably why Dallas Camp isn't participating.
Yeah, he knows
Honeywell didn't pitch.
Yeah, he's like, no Brent Honeywell, no Dallas. That's
nothing to talk about.
Yeah, they go hand in hand. This was, we mentioned Giancarlo Stanton earlier, the 2-run home run. Coley was screaming at the TV from the second that he got in the box to intentionally walk this guy. Was it Trinan that he hit the home run off of? No.
Trident.
No, it wasn't Trinan.
No, it was Flaherty.
Flaherty, yeah. Flaherty threw him the same pitch 3 times in a row. Made him look stupid on the first 2, and then he absolutely hammered the third time.
Can we do one more piece of like revisionist history?
Sure.
With some managerial choices with Boone?
Mm-hmm.
Is it fair at all to question Gerrit Cole coming out of the game after 6+ and 88 pitches? I know he put one person on in the 7th inning that we already covered. And I know that there was some mention that you want him available for potentially 3 games in the series, aka game 7, if that's the path you go down. Easy to say now. You have to win the games to get to game 7, right? Mm-hmm. And it feels like now that we know what we know, maybe sticking with the Holmes, Tommy Kahnle, Luke Weaver portion of the bullpen and not having to get to the Jay Cousins, Nestor Cortez part, maybe would have allowed the Yankees to walk out of here with a game 1 victory.
Yeah, but in the interest of remaining fair to the conversation, none of us, when Gerrit Cole got taken out, were like, why is he getting pulled? Like when Blake Snell got pulled in the World Series in 2020, everyone was like, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck is this? I mean, Blake Snell was saying that out loud, walking off the mound. But this one to me was like, all right, you could make a case for leaving him in, but like it wasn't egregiously.
No, I don't think it was
incompetent.
I don't think it was an egregious error. I don't think Nestor. I mean, maybe Nestor Cortez. Maybe that is an egregiously incompetent error. I mean, I think it's closer to a bad decision than it is like incompetence, because the other option is still Tim Hill. It's not like the other option was Billy Wagner in his prime, but like
Josh Hader. Yeah,
but I don't know. I feel like your horse in game 1 of the World Series and it's 88 and out with a little bit of adversity in the 7th inning. I think it's at least worth asking.
It's a fair question. I didn't have a problem with it at the time.
Me neither. Honestly, I was kind of, maybe this was naive at the time. I was kind of surprised they let him face Ohtani a 3rd time and then Mookie. Like, I'm surprised they let him pitch the 6th in the moment, because like they never let anyone go deep anymore.
Yeah. But it's Gerrit Cole. I mean, if there's any starter this postseason outside of Skubal that you would let see a lineup for a 3rd time in a tight game in a postseason game, it's Gerrit Cole. So
yeah, but he also didn't look that sharp, honestly.
I mean, it's the same thing I was saying.
4 strikeouts, and honestly, first inning when Shohei hit that ball in the first inning,
loud outs.
I thought that shit was fucking gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mookie right after that.
Mm-hmm. There were some loud outs, but that happened in that first Royal start. Loud outs in the first. Then he kind of settled in. That's what happened here tonight.
Spin rates were up, dude. See that?
That's probably cheating.
Yeah.
That's just my guess.
Spin rates were way up, Jared.
They were way up?
You should tweet that.
How up are we talking? How many RPMs? A couple hundred?
I don't know. Whatever data you find online, they're not being honest.
That's true. Did you like Flaherty tonight, Jay?
Yeah, thought he did a great job.
Jack Flaherty, the game 1 starter that only I believed in.
Well,
5 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned, walked a guy, punched out 6. Those 2 earned runs both came in on the Giancarlo Stanton 2-run home run. He did his job. I mean, like that. That line is exactly what I want / expect from Jack Flaherty.
No question. 19 whiffs. I mean, swing and misses. That's in a different ballpark from what he had done previously. Mm-hmm. Listen, I think it goes without saying that him generating more swings and misses is going to lead to him having a more successful time out there. The knuckle curve in particular was a premium pitch for him in that regard. So 12 of his 19 came on that pitch. So
yeah. And how I opened the show saying the Yankees fired their best shot at the Dodgers in this one. Depending on how you feel about Yamamoto, don't you think that the Dodgers kind of fired their best shot in this one too? Like if is Jack Flaherty the most dependable starter that they have? Like, do you feel more confident in Flaherty over Yamamoto? And also if you look at the bullpen usage here, I say Banda. It's Banda. It's Banda.
I thought it was Banda. Is it Banda?
I don't know. They were saying it weird. Weird on the broadcast. Banda Gratterall made his return to the roster. An inning, gave up a hit, but punched out a guy. Vesia returned.
It is Banda.
Banda. I'm going to say Banda.
James Banda.
James Banda. Vesia came back through an inning, punched out 2. Kopech got a couple outs.
It's Kopech.
Treinen went an inning and a third. I know he gave up the 1 run, but I mean, as far as bullpen deployment goes, like, who are they missing?
Well, you're also touching on another point with some of the criticism of the bullpen choices is that, we're getting pretty deep into the game. Mm-hmm. And at some point you are getting into your bullpen a little bit. Mm-hmm. And all of these guys are a little bit imperfect. To answer your initial question about whether the Dodgers have also fired their best shot, I really agree more with your initial characterization, which is that I think that's the perspective of the Yankees. Because one thing we talked about in the podcast initially, in the preview pod, was, at least my opinion, and I think everybody agreed, that Gerrit Cole is in a class unto himself in terms of, game-to-game reliability here. So if the Yankees got the start that they did out of him, were in a position to win the game in the 10th inning and lost the game, I think it's very fair to say their best shot was fired and that this is obviously as devastating of a loss as you can pretty much suffer in anything that's not a clinching game.
Right. And when we were breaking down the rosters, we went by the Yankees bullpen and the Dodgers bullpen. And when we highlighted the Dodgers bullpen, it's like, there's probably 5 or 6 guys in Dave Roberts' trust tree as far as the bullpen goes. With the Yankees, there's 4. Maybe 2 guys, and both were deployed. Weaver went an inning and 2/3. Shout out to him. He's been great. He didn't punch anyone out, which was interesting. Canley comes out, nothing but changeups. Got a couple outs. Clay Holmes didn't look sharp, hit a guy. But yeah, I mean, once they like, those were the guys like Canley and Weaver, like those are your trust tree guys. And then now you're turning it over to Cousins, who's not terrible. But he gives up the 2 runs, and fucking Nestor, like you're going to fucking Nestor as your lefty specialist in a 1-run game in extra innings on the road. That's why, I think when we were breaking down the rosters and talking about the bullpens, I know, Joe, you brought up how the Yankees bullpen is going to be more rested because, the Dodgers have to do bullpen games. The Dodgers bullpen's throwing more innings. It's like, all right, fine. They've thrown more innings, but they're more quality innings. Like, they've got more guys that they can go to and trust in certain spots. Whereas the Yankees, they're fucking throwing Nestor Cortez out there at you. One inning of extra innings, and we see Nestor Cortez.
Well, let's be fair to the Yankees. They had the best bullpen ERA in the playoffs so far.
Yeah, but look at who they faced.
But they are not. Yes, right. They faced the Royals. They faced the Guardians. They're not as deep. I would say there's more than 2 people that they trust, but
who?
I would say they trust Clay Holmes. I know you shit on Clay Holmes.
Well, they shouldn't.
I think that
had an ERA over 10 in the LCS.
What was that? You have 1 run, then you have an ERA at.
He was not sharp in the LCS, and he was not sharp tonight either.
He wasn't sharp, but I think that screwed the Yankees is that they had to, they took Clay Holmes only faced like 3 batters. They got no length or he faced 1 batter, right?
No, he faced 2, 3?
Yeah.
He didn't pitch a full inning.
You can't face one.
You can't face one unless it's the last batter of the inning, and then you can. All right, 2 batters. Yeah. So one more than one. Mm-hmm. Close though. Come on.
Mm-hmm. You were
Give me a little
5
fucking
pitches.
credit.
He only threw 5 pitches. So.
Mm-hmm.
So I was fucking right. You guys are jumping down my throat.
Nestor's gonna be fresh for game 2 though.
Maybe you start him.
Yeah, you could.
So
yeah, it's kind of out of the box thinking.
Yeah,
Boone should just go like crazy.
Just use Nestor as an opener.
Yeah,
be like, I want to get my guy right. I'm sending him right back out there.
Or use Tim Hill as the opener as like a boost of confidence.
I like that.
Prove a point. Yeah, you think I'm such a fucking idiot? Look at Tim Hill. Start him. Let him give up 5 runs and be like, yeah, assholes. And you want to fire me? I took you to the World Series. Now you want to fire me immediately? Because I already said that in the last pod. As soon as the Yankees lose, they're still gonna try to fire Aaron Boone. These psycho ass fans.
Yeah, they probably want to fire him right now.
I think
series isn't even over yet.
I think they do.
Yeah, if you were to Google or Twitter search like fire Aaron Boone, you're gonna get a lot of hits.
Yeah. What would you do? What would you rather if you're Yankees fan right now? There's probably 2 things you need to do this offseason. That's fire Aaron Boone and you need to trade Aaron Judge. Because that guy is a ghost in the playoffs.
Daisuke Matsuzaka still has more World Series hits than Aaron Judge. That's a fact. You want nugs? There's a nug for you.
It's a good one. That'd probably do pretty well.
I also have a nug too, because not to shit on Aaron Judge, but
here it comes.
I'm just calling facts. Facts are facts. Aaron Judge has the highest strikeout percentage of any player in postseason history.
Oh, wow.
And I believe that's true.
Minimum how many plate appearances?
I have no idea.
Okay. All right. There you go.
You can look it up yourselves. Pretty sure that's true.
It's got to be true.
But I think he struck out in like 16 of 34 plate appearances. They had that graphic on screen.
Well, I'll be damned.
I mean, they walked Soto to face Judge.
It's crazy. Any other thoughts on this game? I think we did the stream tonight, but I think moving forward we'll just be from home, so I'll be able to. Like, this would have been a game where I started off with the fucking audio of the Grand Slam. Like, we'll have more soundboard game clips and shit as the World Series goes on, but we're going to be doing a podcast after every single game. They'll be quick, digestible, daily. If you so choose to tune in, we appreciate you. Game 2 of the World Series is Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Carlos Rodon versus Yoshinobu Yamamoto. How do we feel about that matchup, Joe?
I feel fine if I'm a Yankees fan. I trust Rodon. I would say I trust Rodon more than I trust Yamamoto at this point.
What are his Dodger Stadium numbers? He obviously pitched there a lot, being a National League guy.
Oh, Rodon's?
Stand by.
Yeah, we're going to get those numbers.
I don't know, but I will say, like, if you want me to give me a final thought, this does feel like a game. If the Yankees wanted to win this World Series, I know it's just game 1, is the game feels like you had to win.
Game 2 is must win for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Does feel that way. Carlos Rodon, 3 career starts at Dodger Stadium, 18 and a third innings pitched, 4.42 ERA over that stretch.
Okay.
I think Rodon, you know what? I think he matches up well. Like, I think he matches up well against the Dodgers.
You think so?
And you know what?
They hit the shit out of lefties. Shohei can hit lefties as a lefty. Freddie obviously can hit lefties as a lefty, and Mookie.
But you also pronounced Triden's name wrong. Not Triden's name, Kopech's name wrong.
What did I say?
And then brushed by it like nothing happened. I say? Every time I say someone's name, you can say Kopech.
Michael Kopech.
Yeah, it's Kopech.
That's what I said.
Okay, but yeah, you're trying to say I'm saying fucking names wrong. Everyone says, oh yeah, Joey says fucking names wrong. When I say you say a name wrong, we're going to move on to what do you think about game 2?
I said his name right. It's Michael Kopech.
All right, well, when I accidentally say a name kind of wrong, don't correct me. If you're going to say a name wrong, I'm going to correct you.
I don't correct you. I highlight the flavor that you give to names.
And that's what I'm doing to you. I'm giving you some flavor too, bro.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. So we're just having a flavor off. That's all.
It's Kopech from now on. Everyone better start calling him that shit.
Yeah,
it's Kopech.
Yeah, Michael Kopech.
Kopech.
But yeah, I just want to point that out. Shohei as a lefty can hit lefties. Freddie obviously as a lefty can hit lefties, and Mookie hits lefties. So the three dudes at the top of that lineup, and you've got Carlos Rodon going for the Yankees, and apparently Nestor is first out of the chute if you need a lefty out of the pen. So
they hit everybody, bro. It's honestly I would say you could make an argument best lineup of all time, the Dodgers.
That's a little crazy.
I know it is, but you know what?
What?
You got 5 MVPs
spread out.
If you count Shohei's this year, you got so last year you have Ohtani finished first in MVP voting, Mookie finished second, Freddie Freeman finished third. First, second, and third MVP voting, and now they're first, second, and third in the lineup.
There you go.
I would say you could definitely say they could be the best lineup ever.
Maybe the best 1, 2, 3 ever. Yeah.
But they're deep.
They are deep. I'm not saying they're not deep. They're deep.
Because now you're sleeping on Muncy. You're sleeping on Teoscar.
I'm not. He's my World Series MVP pick.
Will Smith.
You went chalk.
What do you mean? We've had the same pick.
You went chalk with Mookie as your World Series MVP pick.
Mookie Betts is going to win the World Series MVP. That's what I'm saying. Okay. That's what's going to happen. Right. If I go chalk and I'm right, like, what do you mean?
All right, fine.
I didn't go chalk. Right. I went right.
I hope you're right. But it's looking like Freddie Freeman right now. Jay, your thoughts on Yamamoto versus Rodon?
It's a pretty even matchup.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers, you are correct that they've been a very successful offense against left-handed pitchers, but, they're pretty good against righties too.
I wonder, since, Rodon has been known to unravel in terms of, let's just say,
emotions.
Yeah. Keeping it together out there.
Fiery.
Will the pressure of game 2 being a must win for the Yankees and the fact that the Dodgers crush lefties, will it get to Rodon? I don't know.
Well, I want to ask you, Gerrit, because, I remember you highlighting the point that Flaherty taking things personal, being fired up, you would love him in a place, start him the first game of the series because he's Flaherty gets fired up. Couldn't you say that about Rodon? It seems like you're looking at that. They kind of share that flair to their game.
Yeah,
you're looking at Rodon like it's a negative.
I'm glad you asked that, Joe, because the last time that Carlos Rodon got fired up during a playoff game, he gave up 5 runs?
Against the Royals, he came out hot.
Yeah, he was fired up. His stuff
looked nasty.
He was fired up.
His stuff looked nasty.
Yeah, it looked nasty in the first inning, no doubt. Yeah, he was nasty, but he's not a reliever. The 1 inning is not his assignment.
He's settled down. He settled down in his next start. You could tell.
Yeah, he settled down in the next start because he said, I watched Gerrit Cole and that really motivated me to not be an asshole out there.
You control your emotions. He had an adrenaline jump and he dump.
Yep.
And he's learned from his mistakes going into LA.
Yeah.
He has playoff experience.
He does. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm picking Yankees for game 2.
Okay. Jay?
But I am allowed to change that before first pitch.
Okay.
But you guys give your picks.
Jay?
Yeah, I'll go with the Yankees because I picked them to win the series. I do think this is a pretty tough.
It's the biggest game of the series.
Tough L though to swallow. But yeah, I'll stick with the Yankees. I do think it's the pitching matchup is pretty much a toss up, so I'll stick with the Yankees.
Okay. I got the Dodgers in a rout tomorrow.
A rout.
Fuck.
Yeah.
How many innings do you have Rodon going? I mean, not many.
2 2/3.
Oh gosh. So maybe we'll see Nestor tomorrow. And some slop work.
Nestor's probably going to get 5 innings of work in this game.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah. 9-3 Dodgers, game 2.
Well, what's Dallas's pick?
He'll probably go Dodgers. And Shohei is going to go 5 for 5.
I think he rolls with the lefty.
I think he would say Rodon's going to have a great start, but Dodgers win anyway.
He'll probably be like, tomorrow's a big Honeywell game.
Yeah. Yeah, tomorrow's the Honeywell game. Tommy Edman, Brent Honeywell, book it.
No, Tommy Edman might have been. Yeah, if Dallas is here, Tommy Edman, he's the MVP of the league, MVP of the game. That clutch single to get Shohei up, come on.
Yeah.
We're forgetting about that.
Yeah, that
Tommy
was big.
Edman,
That was big.
And he got fucked by the umpire. The umpire was shit all night.
Yeah, he was awful.
Those first 2 strikes to fucking
all
Edman.
night. All night he was awful on both sides.
But
both sides have a reason to bitch about that one. Jay, you got any nugs?
Oh gosh, yes I do.
Oh please.
I mean, it was a pretty good game for Nugs. A little slow, but it picked up. Freddie Freeman, first walk-off grand slam in World Series history. Wow. No big deal. The Yankees, 6th AL team ever to have 4 stolen bases in a World Series game, joining the Astros in 19, Royals in 15, Rays in 08, White Sox in 1917, and the Philadelphia A's in 1910. Jazz Chisholm specifically is the 6th player ever with 3 stolen bases in a World Series game, joining Honus Wagner in 1909, Willie Davis in 65. Lou Brock did it in consecutive World Series years in 67 and 68. BJ Upton in 08 and Rajai Davis in 2016. Let's see. AL pitchers with starts of 6+ innings pitched, 1 or 0 runs and 0 walks in World Series Game 1. Gerrit Cole today, Corey Kluber in 2016, Frank Viola in 1987, Red Ruffing of the Yankees. He's the last Yankee to do it all the way back in 1938, and Carl Mays in 1921. 5 straight, you referenced this earlier, Giancarlo Stanton, first player ever to have multiple stretches of 5 straight games with a home run in the postseason. All other players in Major League Baseball history have had streaks of 5 straight games with a home run 3 total times. That was some fun trivia earlier, right?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
it was Adolis Garcia, Daniel Murphy, and Carlos Beltran. Giancarlo Stanton is the first Yankees player with a go-ahead homer in the 6th inning or later of a World Series game since Hideki Matsui in Game 2 of 2009, and he's the first Yankees player to do so in Game 1 of a World Series since Tino Martinez in 1998. And sad news, Aaron Judge is the first Yankees player with 3 or more strikeouts in a World Series game since both Derek Jeter and A-Rod did so in Game 2 of 2009.
Oh, you saw what happened. Yeah.
Maybe that could be a precursor. The desk on the Fox postgame.
Yeah. That could be a precursor, though. That's good news for the Yankees.
Those are the numbers.
I believe they won it that year.
They did.
2009.
They did. They beat the Fightin' Phils.
Yep. Now, look at them now, the Fightin' Phils. Kyle Schwarbers on College Game Day.
Wow.
A lot of people are upset that I was wearing a Dodgers jersey on the stream. Mm-hmm. It's a Manny jersey. It's a Manny Ramirez jersey. So I think if it was a Tommy Edman jersey, then you could have a little bit of an argument. But Manny Ramirez jersey, come on.
Yeah.
But he abandoned you guys to go to the Dodgers.
No, he got traded because he shoved the traveling secretary down the stairs.
But he wanted out. He was like,
he did. Yeah, he did. But he
really wanted out. He's like, get me out.
I think he was a free agent after 08 anyway, so it doesn't matter. He served his purpose. Got 2 rings.
This whole fucking city sucks cock. Why would anyone want to spend their whole lives here? You know,
in LA,
well, Boston.
Oh, Boston. Yeah.
In the greater area.
Yeah. You got any final thoughts, Joe?
Yeah, man. Like, great game. Shout out to Freddie Freeman.
Mm-hmm. Does that hurt? Does that hurt as a Braves fan seeing Freddie Freeman hit a walk-off grand slam in the World Series?
No, honestly, honestly, I was like, you should have seen me. I was fucking jumping up and down. That was fucking sick. I loved it.
I'm glad.
I love to see Freddie. I will say this: Freddie's my second favorite player on the Dodgers.
Who's the first?
Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, there it is. Jay,
Shohei Ohtani.
You got a final thought?
Yeah, I mean, I just always think about Tim Kirkjian saying that, you know, whenever you watch baseball, every day of baseball is you see something that you've never seen before. And, you know, sometimes you have to get super weird and very specific for that to hold true. And that's true to an extent tonight, but the first walk-off grand slam in World Series history.
Pretty cool.
I mean, that is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Also, who would you ever think, who's going to have the best pimp job of the year? Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, I mean,
probably the last guy you'd expect. That was a sick ass pimp job.
Oh, I got one more bonus nug.
Please.
So he did it. Part of what made the home run bat, this is what made me think of it. Part of what made the home run badass was that he hit it on the first pitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Nestor Cortez had barely fucking like woken up and Freddie Freeman had just fucking ended the game with a grand slam. Did you know that the last player to have a walk-off home run in the World Series on the first pitch of an at-bat?
Who was that?
Mickey Mantle.
Wow.
For the Yankees in Game 3 of 1964.
God damn. The Beatles were still a new concept the last time that happened.
Those are the only two instances.
America was just getting introduced to the Beatles the last time that happened.
The last time somebody saw the first pitch and hit a walk-off home run in the World Series.
How do you even look that shit up?
He's Justin Haven's brother. Best to ever do it. All right. We'll be back after Game 2 of the World Series tomorrow night. Hope you enjoyed this World Series recap from Baseball is Dead. Dallas Braden will be joining us for the Game 2 recap. Joe, are you back? Are you on all these or what?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Nice.
Love that. All right. We'll be back after Game 2.
We gone.